All right, our last book this week is Habakkuk, Habakkuk. But anyways, it's the author is Habakkuk. It says that in chapter 1, verse 1. Nothing is really known of his background, but this has actually been kind of a neat book for me, and I'll tell you why here in just a minute. The date's approximately 600 BC. The key theme is that we need to trust God even when he seems unresponsive or, in our minds, unfair. So here's how I identify with Habakkuk a little bit. They're in Judah, and this prophet Habakkuk is complaining that God allows violence and injustice among his people. Habakkuk is shocked to learn that God's way of dealing with this problem is sending the Chaldeans. And the Chaldeans were this bitter and hasty and violent group. So Habakkuk's going to argue with the Lord that the Chaldeans are far worse than the disobedient Jews. He'll say, "Thou art pure of eyes and to behold evil." The Lord, however, is going to talk to him and say he's only using the Chaldeans for his purposes and will in time punish them for their own sins. He's going to talk to Habakkuk and say, it's not your responsibility, it's not your job to question my ways. The Lord is in his holy temple. Let all the earth keep silence before him, he says in chapter 2 and verse 20. So Habakkuk in the end, like Job, is going to ultimately submit to God's authority. But here's the point. You have this man who's being used by God who is submitting to this authority, but he's also questioning what's going on. And he has the ability in God's eyes to do that, but God finally stops it and says, hey, listen, I've got this all under control. You don't need to worry about this. No matter what's going on in life or with people, I'm in control. And so for me, as I look around at our youth group and I look around at people in our church and say, man, they've got some hard things going on. Why the injustice? God is saying, not that they're being punished, but God is saying, I've got this under control. I'm in my holy temple. Let all the earth keep silence before me. I know what I'm doing and I have a plan. So it resonated with me, this book did. Some of the quotable verses are chapter 2 and verse 4. This might sound familiar from Romans 1. The just shall live by faith. And then chapter 3 and verse 18 says, I will joy in the God of my salvation. Whether I understand it or not, what he's doing, I will joy in the God of my salvation. One of the unique things about this book, as I referenced it a second ago, in Romans chapter 1, Apostle Paul is going to use or quote Habakkuk 2:4 and when he's presenting the gospel to the Jews there in Rome. So what? What's the main point? What do we take away from this? Our world is much like Habakkuk's. It's full of injustice. It's full of violence. But God is still in control. Whether we sense it or not, whether we know it or not, God is working things out for his purposes. Now, sin certainly plays a part, but God is still in control. He is still sovereign. So we need to trust him even when we don't understand what it is that is going on. The teen of the day today is Kirsten. Make sure you pray for her as she's got lots of things going on this summer. I know they're traveling quite a bit for some bluegrass things in Kentucky and stuff. So make sure you pray for her, that she has a good day and she has a good rest of the school year. Have a good day.